What's going on, you guys? It's Cody Steck. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things money, stocks, and real estate. I want to talk about Airbnb IPO today. If you didn't already know, I was an Airbnb host earlier this year and had a fantastic experience with it, but unfortunately we had to shut it down due to the pandemic and convert to a long-term tenant. So this is something that I've been keeping an eye on for over a year now because I've been really excited with how Airbnb runs their platform, what they've been able to do in the travel and hosting industry, and also, kind of just the experience that I had with the company as well. And, all of the things that I thought that they were doing really well compared to a lot of other companies in the same space. You've got Vrbo as a competitor, and you've got some other smaller, lesser known companies that are out there as well competing with Airbnb. Airbnb is definitely the biggest player in this space, and I think that there's going to be a huge potential for them once they actually hit the open market. So I want to talk about some of the things that they've seen and that they're experiencing right now. So Airbnb just filed their S1, which is the filing form that they have to file with the SEC, basically saying, hey, look, here's how our company runs, here's what we're going to do with the money, here's how many shares we're going to sell. They basically give all the information about what's going to happen when they do their IPO, and the SEC then reviews that and then will approve it. So they just filed that. I think it was actually their second filing of it, just kind of clarifying some things, and now they're expected to hopefully go public later this month. I think it was actually slated for December 10th, I think is the date I saw on one of the articles. That seemed a little bit soon. I thought it was going to be a little bit later than that, closer to Christmas, but hey, I'll take it earlier, earlier the better, right? So they're expecting the share price to be anywhere from $44 to $50 per share, giving the company a value of $35 billion, which is actually higher than the previous peak valuation price of roughly $31 billion. When I look at this, it's hard to value a company like this, but when I think, okay, if it was at a valuation of $31 billion prior to the pandemic, when they last had their valuation, in a private investor fundraising round, basically, and now they're trying to say, okay, we think it could be upwards of $35 billion. I don't know. That seems kind of like a stretch to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're going to get it. Maybe there's a lot more demand for this particular company than I would have anticipated. I do think there's a lot of demand out there, and I think that it's definitely going to be a successful IPO. But I'm just looking at that like, man, I don't know. I don't know that it's worth $35 billion with all of the changes that have happened this year. I think if they had done it before the pandemic hit, yeah, no problem. They'd knock that out of the water, and I think they could even go higher. But now that the pandemic's hit, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where this actually ends up. I was actually looking at some numbers online, and they had a revenue decrease of 19% from quarter 3 of this year compared to quarter 3 of 2019. So actually, even though the revenue went down, which is expected given everything going on, I don't think that's actually that bad. To only see a 19% decrease is actually pretty dang good. And, I'm kind of happy with that as a potential investor here. I think that's pretty dang good. I think that their numbers are coming back, and they had to lay off a bunch of staff. They had to raise, I think, $2 billion in emergency funding from investors when the pandemic hit, just to kind of stay alive because everything just shut down. I mean, I remember when I had my place listed on Airbnb, we had it booked out for like 6 weeks, right? As soon as the government said, hey, we're shutting everything down, we don't recommend traveling, we're going into lockdown, bam, like literally within like 2 days, every single booking that we had was completely gone. And it was just like, I can't imagine having that to your whole company, right? Airbnb was probably crapping their pants, seeing all of these bookings cancel, trying to figure out what's going to happen and what's going to happen to their business. So they made it through the emergency funding. They got the $2 billion, and now their numbers have come back. They had a record, I think it was 1 million nights worth of stays booked sometime in July. And I know that they've probably hit that number since then, as well as people try to get out of town, try to stay somewhere close and just get a safe escape from, the crazy city life that a lot of people are actually living in. So their numbers are coming back. I think they're looking really good. And I think that for years to come, Airbnb is going to be the main player in this space. There's a lot of other companies like Vrbo that are out there. And I believe Vrbo is actually owned by Expedia. But I think that there's going to be, just massive growth for Airbnb in this industry because they're definitely the right player. And I think that if they continue to cater to the people who want a different hosting experience, who want the experiences when they get to that place and when they want, a little bit more catered experience, I think that's really what you're going to get with Airbnb. I think it's also good for hosts as well because hosts, I think actually, unless it's changed, pay a smaller fee to Airbnb to use their platform than you do with something like Vrbo. So I think this is actually a better proposition for both hosts and for users of the platform, for people booking stays. Another thing that I've got to mention is that a lot of younger people actually prefer to stay at an Airbnb. I don't know a single young person who says, oh yeah, we're going to fly here and we're going to go stay in in a hotel. It's just like, it's not happening, right? Generally, the older demographic of people are the ones staying in hotels just because it's what they're used to, it's what they're familiar with. with. But I think as the younger demographic continues to get back to traveling, and as you've got all these like teenagers who come into those travel, very popular traveling ages of their like early 20s after high school, college, whatever, a lot of people want to travel and a lot of people want to stay in Airbnb. Everybody's all about the experience right now. So they'd much rather stay in that really cool treehouse Airbnb property rather than just another plain old Motel 6, right? So I think that this is where a lot of opportunity is going to come and actually play to Airbnb's favor for the future. So I think this could be a really successful company. I think the IPO is going to go well. Personally speaking, I'm going to invest in the company. I've got to pick up some shares because I absolutely love what they're doing here. And I think that they're going to be one of the leaders in this travel industry space. So I'm really excited about it. They're going to list on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol ABNB. And like I said, they're supposed to IPO later this month. So all things considered, guys, I'm actually really excited about this IPO. I'm going to be an investor. Like I said, I'm excited to see how it turns out. And I'm excited to see, what information comes out about the company and how they're doing financially once everything's released. And, we've got some quarters of hopefully some profitable numbers and, see where they're at. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support in this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up here on the video. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about money, stocks, and real estate. Click that little bell as well if you want to get notified when I release these new videos. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.